I'm in my final semester of college, and I think the one thing that I wish people told me was not, how to study for classes, was not how to like do a balance of your life or whatever, or not how to socialize, but rather how many people would try to convert me to any sort of religion on the earth. Um, and like it's gotten to the point where I've had long enough and had so many interactions with a bunch of different religious proselytizers that I've been able to like kind of get a hierarchy in my head of like which are the most annoying to deal with. So like obviously the classic one that have is like the random white old dude on it with a sign like in the main part of your campus outside that just says like a long list of like how every single person on the planet is going to hell and that no one is going to heaven. And like that entire dude is just his entire purpose is rage baiting. So he's not really one of the fun people that you like seeing. Um some easy interactions, the Jehovah Witnesses, they don't really bother anyone. They just kind of sit on like a street corner with like a sign, and then like it's usually two old ladies or two old men. I don't know why they don't mix like the genders, but like they just do that and they just sit there. So like they don't really bother anyone, so they're fine. They're chill. I don't really know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses to like give a take on the religion, but like they don't bother me, so they're fine. I think I've only had like one experience in my 4 years here with like someone who was like Jewish who was trying to proselytize, but he just asked me if I was Jewish. I said no. He said okay, have a good day, and like that was it. So I don't know what that interaction was, but that was a fun one. And then like the final one before I talk about the main point of this video are just like it's usually the first like weekend or first or second weekend or first day of classes in the fall semester where there's usually just a shit ton of dudes with like Old Testament Bibles. I think it's Old Testament. It's one of the Testament Bibles on every single street corner trying to give you one. And it is really annoying. And I had to go into like a bunch of different like packs. I had to make sure I'm walking into groups so that I don't have to like look or interact with these dudes at all because they're really annoying. But the most annoying religious proselytizer on campus that you ever run into are the Mormons because they are really fucking annoying and do not take a hint in any way. And like I think these are the people who I've run into the most on accident when walking through like the main quad of my campus because they just like don't know how to take a hint. It's usually groups of two. Most recent one I did a group of one, and I'll talk about that one a little bit later. And they're just like trying to get you to convert to religion. They always dress in the same way. They got the Mormon uniform. It's always just like a white t-shirt, black pants. They have like a satchel, whatever, just, I don't know what's in it. Probably a bunch of random bullshit. I don't really know. But they always walk in like pairs of two. And I always just like kind of, I'm not ready for them because they just look like a couple of dudes walking down campus. I don't really think much about them. And then they walk up to you. And this is where all the fun and bullshittery happens, all right? This is what I learned as a strategy. So they walk up to you and they say, are you religious? And no matter what, if you say yes or no, you cannot, this is not a way to end the interaction. If you say yes, they say, oh, well then, why don't you consider joining the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints? If you say no, they're going to say, do you know anyone who's religious? And then even if you say no, well, they say, oh, well, have you considered joining the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints? This obviously is not a good way to do it. The only number one effective way I've ever done it is if I see them in advance and they attempt to talk to me. Because a lot of the time I'm just like listening to music and like trying to just walk like a normal human being. But if I spot them in advance, I just like literally like before they even get a word out of me, they kind of like wave me over. I just say no, I don't have time. I'm sorry, and then I leave. Just that's the only way I've ever figured out how to stop them from talking to me. Like I figured out another really interesting way to do it and a really fun way to handle these Mormons is just to straight up lie to them. Like recently, most recent example, a guy walked up to me, Mormon. I wasn't ready for this one because it was only one Mormon. I wasn't ready for the group of two. And he also had like an overcoat on, but he did have like a name tag that said like whatever his name was. I don't even remember, but then the Church of Jesus Christ and the Latter-day Saints on it. And he was like, oh, do you go to church on campus? And I said, yes, even though that's not true. And, he almost got me here. He did say, oh, well then which one is it? And I completely lied. I just said like, oh, it's like by this building or whatever. And he just said, he didn't even challenge me a little bit. So that was good. And then he said like, oh, can I have your phone number? I want to spend yourself. And like, if anyone knows Mormons, never give Mormons any sort of contact information about you in any way. They will chase you to the ends of the earth and legitimately never let you leave their attention. They'll probably send you like Bibles or whatever the fuck the Mormons send you. The Book of Mormon. I completely forgot that's what it's called. And like I figured out the number one most effective way is just to straight up lie to Mormons. Like you just gotta have fun with them, If you're ever on a college campus and you're worried about the Mormons, just know these things, all right? 1, a church on campus. Does not matter if you go to it, you just have to say like yes, and if they ask you which one, just say it's that one. 2, a phone number of your enemy, because I don't know if they actually text you now because I'm not stupid enough to give them my phone number. But if you ever have someone you hate enough, and a Mormon ever asks you for a phone number, and you have that person that you hate's phone number, just give them that one, because once again, that person will get chased to the ends of the earth. And I know this because, like, once again, it is a meme just to send a Book of Mormon to someone's house, and then they will never not stop getting books of Mormons. But also, I do know a guy personally who, like, said that he actually gave his address to the Mormons one time, and then the Mormons kept on knocking on his door, like, once a month or whatever, trying to get him to convert to the Church of Latter-day Saints and Jesus Christ, or whatever it is. And so, like, the moral of the story, obviously, a completely random topic, is to lie to Mormons, all right? They're the only group of people that you, like, actively need to, like, have a full life story on, because they will not stop it. They will not stop talking to you, even if you, like, are the biggest asshole to them of all time. The guy yelling on the campus with the sign, he's just there to rage bait. Jehovah Witnesses and the Jewish people will just, like, let you be on your merry way. And then, what is it? The guys with the Old Testaments, at least they're there only once a year. The Mormons are persistent. And also the Mormons are kind of frauds too, because, like, they only go around campus on when it's sunny and stuff like that. They only go on their pilgrimages when it's, like, nice and sunny. I feel like, if I'm really seeing someone committed, it's going to be a dude walking around, like, in the freezing cold and, like, trying to hand out whatever, the Book of Mormon to people. And so not only are they fun to lie to, they're frauds, and that means you can lie to them ethically, because once again, they're doing it performatively. They're performatively trying to hand people the Book of Mormon and get their phone number and get them to join the Church of their Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, because they're only doing it, like, during the nice days. Like, if you're just out here during only the nice days, I'm gonna, like, look at you like, they only do this when it's convenient for them, and not because they actually believe in their religion, and which is just, another reason why the Mormons are frauds. But yeah. Moral of the story, lie to the Mormons. Tell them about a fake church you go to, or a church that's real but you don't actually go to it, but say you go to it. Give them the phone number of your enemy. What are they going to do about it? Smite you down? I guess, maybe. Like John Smith, is that what his name is? Who's going to smite you down and as Jesus Christ comes back in the middle of Missouri? But why not have a little bit of fun with them? Because, if they're going to be really annoying, might as well be annoying back to them. And this was, like, a completely random topic, but it just was in my brain because it happened to me, like, a few days ago where I was so rudely interrupted by a Mormon that it was in my brain. That's really it. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.